Let's get to it.
I have been prepping for about 3 years now, and I have acquired quite a few things. I've been getting ready for those natural disasters, economic disasters, political disasters. We stocked up on a lot of the short-term foods that you might use within 2-3 month period. Stocked up on your freezer foods, things you can store for a couple of years and don't have to worry about it. We've stocked up on home defense, family defense, self-defense. We got a lot of things that a lot of people just don't think about. A lot of times, a lot of people think it's pretty extreme. It certainly don't hurt to be ready for anything. You never know when your local water system's going to get contaminated.
Welcome back, you guys. You're tuning in to Tiffany Rose, where the truth don't get sugar-coated. And whoop, we got a lot to talk about now. Look at this guy. Hey, congratulations, buddy. You got it down pack. For all my preppers out there, shout out to y'all. If you've been prepping food, emergency supplies, C19 should have taught you a little things about being prepared during an emergency. Remember, I've been a prepper since I was in my 20s. I'm in my 40s now, and you probably can find a video on here. See, remember this face when I was a lot younger, where I was in my 20s, and I have YouTube videos teaching people how to prep, and it was like, wow, black prepper, black girl prepper at that. Yes, I am a prepper, and the prepping channels that's on YouTube, I've always up to them. But yes, it's always good to have stuff just in case it's an emergency, natural disaster, a plague, anything. You just never know. So make sure you stockpile. Don't feel bad if you ain't started yet, because you can start and go slow. Plan on what you want, what you need to think about: food storage, power outages, ways to cook if you have no power, generators. You got to think about all this stuff. Water filtration if you have to drink out of the lake, all those things. Deep dive. But this guy has been getting down to the nitty gritty. I feel you. Nothing wrong with being prepared. Let's keep watching these videos. Let's go.
Even if you're on well water, something could spill and contaminate the groundwater. And having that long-term food for when you have to hunker down for a long time really helps. We have solar generators, we have backup batteries, we have solar panels, and we have power inverters. Plenty of toilet paper to combat that toilet paper shortage. Packing food away in Mylar is definitely something we did a lot of. Having go bags ready to go just in case you do have to go, it's also a definite thing you should be doing. Alternative ways to filter water is also a good thing. Stacking up on sriracha, most definitely.
Economists are coming out now, and they are stating that what is happening with the whole entire firing of the Data and Labor Statistics Commissioner is going to impact all of us. These economists who work in the financial market, they use this data. Without this data being correct, they will not be able to quantify which stock is going to do well or which stock is going to do bad. Typically, they don't really get involved in politics too much. Now, you may be asking yourself, how does this impact me? Everyone who has a 401k, yeah, you got financial advisors who are working for companies who know where to move your money around to. So when they don't have correct data, this directly impacts you. Now they're all sitting around waiting to see who he's going to appoint and whether or not the new data is going to be real, or is it going to be fluffed up to make the Trump administration look good. Now, keep in mind, we're dealing with that, with the reality that the jobs market is the worst it's been since 2008. And we all know that in 2008, we hit a soft recession. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been preparing your family, you better start. Because it's...
Now, how long y'all been on my channel? I'm talking about my real followers, my real supporters who watch majority of my videos. How long have I been talking about 08 recession and how bad it was, and some of the tricks and tips I used to make it through it? Some things that I've learned. How many times y'all heard me say that? Like, I'm not just up here replaying videos talking about the economy. I'm trying to make people aware. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all are aware. That's why y'all watching. A lot of y'all, we alike. We look at these type of videos because we like to keep our eyes open and be watchful of what's going on and not blind. We don't want to be blind in the drama world and we so deep diving in what happened on Love and Hip Hop that we don't know what's going on today. Because it's bad. You got to be prepared. Make sure you got stockpiles of medicine. Make sure you got stockpiles of food. Make sure you got stockpiles of protection. Make sure you got stockpiles of energy. How are you going to have lights if you have no lights? How are you going to cook if you have no power? How are you going to keep cool if you have no power? How are you going to keep warm if you have no power? All that. Because there's no way you can trust this world. And I'm just being serious. Hey, all the conspiracy theories, they got the tinfoil hat. Until something happened, then the hat that we wear just turned into a real hat. It ain't tinfoil no more. They said that when C-19 happened, all them preppers, man, they tried to tell y'all, yeah, we did. Because I'm a claimant. I'm a prepper, baby. Are you a prepper too? If you are, that's what I'm talking about. High five, fist pump. Because you got to be woke and protect yourself from when SH T the F. You know what I'm saying? Because people losing their jobs left and right. Prepper is not just doomsday. Yes, we like to prepare for it. But prepping is also a job loss. You could be so broken, only could pay your bills and you can't really afford food and like your basic stuff, like your hygiene stuff, like, and having it on deck, you able to use your stockpile until you get back on your feet. It's like an emergency piggy bank. We can't just save coins and dollars in the piggy bank. We got to save medication. We got to save soap, tissue, whatever stuff you need in our piggy bank that you dig in your savings. Just like you dig in your savings for money when you need help, you dig into your stockpile when things get rough. You gotta have that. I don't care if you ain't got the space, dedicate a closet to it. You gotta have it. Oh, years go by, nothing happened. Well, sure didn't. And you got, well, if you think I'm crazy for prepping, you better be right every single day. I have to prep and make sure I'm straight. I don't have to be right. I am right. I got it. Right? Right. Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. Let's keep going.
Looking like we are headed for some really, really bad times. Quickly.
Well, I hear we're going into another recession or a depression, and you're wanting to prep for that. So let me break down 5 things that you do need on your shelf. Let's do this. Tip number 1, you're going to want flour. Don't mind my hair. I'm a mom. Flour. You're going to start making your own food. Okay? Whether it's bread, we're going to step away from those easy, convenient, and you're going to be cooking more at home. I want to save your wallet a lot of money. 2, sugar. You're going to want sugar. Just trust me on this. 3, you're going to want to go and buy some chocolate chips in bulk because you're going to get that urge or that temptation. You're going to want to go get a snack or something somewhere. You're cooking that stuff at home now, okay? 4, you're going to want to go get canned meats. Back there is tuna. Tuna is super cheap. It is delicious. It's a good protein. You're going to want your canned chickens. You're going to want some cheaper cuts of meats, my friends. You're going to want that bone in. You're going to want your pork chops. You're going to want your chicken thighs with the bone in. You're going to take that time to remove the bone. You're going to learn how to marinate and you're going to tenderize, okay? I'm going to save you money. Number 5, you're going to buy on sales and you're going to buy 1 for now, 2 for later. We're going through another once in a lifetime event, so I want you guys to succeed. And tip number 6, if you made it this far, coffee. Okay, you're not going out for coffee anymore. You're going to make your own special coffee at home. You're going to save a lot of money. You're going to be able to apply that towards something else, okay? Go get your coffee. By the way, it is imported, so it is going to get really expensive. So that's when you want to prep a lot of money.
Everyone says that they want to start prepping, but most people never do because they think it means bunkers and camouflage and bug out land, but it doesn't. Here's what it actually looks like to begin prepping. You are not buying a $300 tactical bag. You're not building a bunker. You are going to grab any bag that you own, a gym bag, a school backpack, a diaper bag, whatever you have. You are going to add water, food, clothes for warm layers, and I'll put a few extra here on the screen. But if something happens, you will not have time to pack. You do not have 5 minutes. You do not even have 60 seconds. That bag is the difference between scrambling and surviving. Every person in your home should have one. It is by the door and ready to go. And this is not because you were paranoid, but because you love your people. If you've been putting this off because it felt overwhelming or too extreme, this is your sign to start. Not with a bunker, but with a bag. We help families do this every day. And even if you never work with us, just pack the bag. This is your sign.
4 things that will attract dangerous people after it all hits the fan. Share this with everyone. Being prepared is one thing. When it comes to survival, it's a whole different ballgame. First up, smoke. You might need a fire to cook or stay warm, but if you burn the wrong things, like green wood, plastics, or rubber, you're going to create billows of black or white smoke that can be seen for miles. That's an open invitation to people who are desperate. If you need a fire, make a Dakota fire hole or keep your fire very small and use dry wood to minimize smoke. Next up is smell. If you're cooking food, especially any kind of meat, that scent will travel for miles. And in a world where people are starving, that's like ringing the dinner bell. If you have to cook, do it low and slow and try to contain the smell, because once they catch a whiff, it's already too late. You're not even going to see them coming. Sound is another killer. You fire a gun, that's an announcement. Someone knows you're out there, knows you have supplies, and they might be willing to take them. Stay quiet, stay unnoticed, or be ready for company. And finally, we need to talk about light. When the grid goes down, the world's going to be darker than most of us have ever seen it. One candle, one flashlight, and you might as well be a lighthouse in a storm. If you need light, block the windows, cover reflections, and never let light escape outside. Survival is about more than what you do and the skill set you have. It's also about what you don't do. Don't be seen, don't be heard, don't be found. Stay dangerous and keep yourself ready. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to follow for more.
I don't think a lot of people understand what's about to happen to the American economy because people are still operating as if the money is coming. Ain't shit coming, y'all. Ain't shit coming. And people are, you always want to use the excuse of, well, the people I know not broke. They got it. Let me tell y'all something. The first group of people that cut out all that the unnecessary spending are rich people. So if you're still spending, I'm gonna spending like crazy and not like all stuff that you like need or to live or whatever. I'm gonna assume that you're broke. Yeah, because you don't understand economics. You don't get it. You don't get it. I'm just gonna assume that you're broke because I don't understand. I really don't understand. People that are well off have already started limiting their spending, being mindful of their vacations, their shopping, literally everything. They have started to wean themselves in. I started doing that since last November. But since everybody got it out here, but the numbers ain't saying that everybody out here making 6 figures, right? So y'all lying, y'all be lying, and y'all really ain't got it. But anyways, if you got some sense, please save your money. Please start being mindful of what you're spending your money on. I'm not saying not to do stuff for yourself. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just be mindful. Instead of taking 5 trips this year, maybe take 2 or none, right? Instead of getting your hair done every month, maybe stretch it out to 2 or 3. These are things. Start buying groceries in bulk so you can, have stuff stretch out a little longer because the prices are going up. And we haven't even really felt the real impacts of this inflation shit yet. But yeah, I don't know, y'all. To operate in delusion, I fucking wish.
While millionaires are flying up to space, everyone else is afraid of a possible recession. So these are all my money saving tips as someone who's frugal to help you prepare. Comment some ways you like to save money to help each other out. Call your service providers like your internet or phone provider and see if they're willing to lower your bill. I did this last year and was able to lower my internet bill from $79 to $46, which will save me over $300 this year, so give it a try. Next, get creative in ways to save money. Never buy trash bags. I use paper bags that I get from friends and family. I cut up my sponges to make them last a lot longer, because why mess up a whole sponge when you could basically get 2 sponges for the price of 1? Something else that I do is I'll cut the end of my toothpaste, because even if you think it's empty, there's always a little bit left in there, so you don't want to throw it away. Or instead of buying curtains, I use the set of bed sheets that I got with my bedding. My next biggest tip, do not buy anything. You likely already have way more than what you need. You don't need anything else. If something has flaws, it's okay. This is what most people's homes look like, living a life of overconsumption. You don't need more. If you do need something, try to get it secondhand or even for free. A lot of the furniture in my apartment I've gotten for free. I keep everything unplugged to keep my electric bill low. When something's done, I unplug it. I only plug in the microwave when I need to use it. Even my internet, I'll unplug it when I go to bed or when I leave for work. Keep my fridge to the lowest temperature possible to still keep things cold, and I'm mindful of the lights that I use. This helps keep my electric bill very low. Cancel every subscription now. You don't need to see the next episode of a series. You need an emergency fund and to keep a roof over your head. There's plenty of free entertainment out there. At the grocery store, do not buy name brand things. That's stupid. There's no reason to pay $3 to $4 more just because of a brand. Also, don't buy pre-made or prepared foods. You're paying extra money for the convenience. That goes for things like pre-cut fruit. Just cut it yourself. It's way cheaper and typically fresher. Oh my god, the pineapple was so good. Which goes into my next tip, cook all of your food at home. Going out to eat is so expensive. In times when things are expensive and money's tight, going out to eat is a want, not a need. By cooking all of my meals at home, I typically spend about $200 on groceries, which saves me a ton of money. My next tip in a struggling economy is try to find a way to earn more income through a side hustle. Last year, I started dumpster diving for bottles and cans. I know it's not for everyone, but I typically make about $40 to $60 a month from doing it, and to me, it feels like easy money. And in tough times, you gotta get creative on how to make more money. Be sure to utilize your local library. Libraries are awesome and have a ton of free things like internet and other resources. It's a great place to cool down when it's hot outside. Sometimes libraries give out free passes to museums and events, so be sure to check out your library. You can think of fun things to do for free, like going on a hike, having a picnic in the park with friends or your partner. Or for me, I play the violin, so I found a free community orchestra to play in, so it's a fun activity that doesn't break the bank. When it comes to gift giving, get creative. I have a re-gift bin under my bed, but also you can make something. Get creative with the things that you might already have laying around the house, rather than running to the store to buy something. You can still go out and have fun with friends, even in a recession. We know the recession music is top tier. Just do it responsibly. When I go out, typically I'll just get a water. I'll go to places that don't charge a cover. Like here, when I went out with friends, I got a side of pasta. It was the cheapest thing on the menu, and it actually was a big portion. I think it ended up costing like literally $7. And you can consider putting your emergency fund in a high yield savings account, so your money grows money with interest. We're gonna be okay, guys. We're all in this together. Thanks for watching.
This guy is so smart. He got everything down pat. He is like, you really saving money, and you know you can do that if you got a lot of money. If you make a lot of money, you can still do the same thing and just watch your money grow. Me, I used to be a very avid shopper, high consumer, but it was on, hold up, let me get this right because I don't want to sound crazy. So I used to be a sale shopper. Let me say that right. I don't want nobody to think I bought nothing for regular price. I used to be a person that shop a lot of sales and consume a lot of things. But luckily for me, a lot of things that I did overconsume were things of need, things my family need, important things we need. The only thing that I did outside of that would be my little Victoria's Secret Bath and Body runs. That's it. That was my little special thing. But other than that, if I bought anything else over consuming or whatever, it was something for a need or stockpile or something like that. So I didn't do too bad because I only bought a little perfume and a little spray, you know. And then I stopped doing all that shopping because, like he said, it's just not necessary. I had my little fun when I had my little fun doing the shopping sales and all that stuff. Then I had you pump the brakes like, whoa. 50 is enough. You know what I mean? But all those tips he just gave and all those tricks, man, I have a daughter like that. She saves. She's 20 years old. She saves and she just I can imagine her being just like this guy. I got my furniture for free. No, I turn off all my lights before I use it. No, I cook at the house. Oh, I ordered the cheapest thing on the menu. I'm telling you, that is so smart. That's what's up. That guy is so smart.
Home. Going out to eat is so expensive. In times when things are expensive and money's tight, going out to eat is a want, not a need. By cooking all of my meals at home, I typically spend about $200 on groceries, which saves me a ton of money. My next tip in a struggling economy is try to find a way to earn more income through a side hustle. Last year, I started dumpster diving for bottles and cans. I know it's not for everyone, but I typically make about $40 to $60 a month from doing it, and to me, it feels like easy money. And in tough times, you gotta get creative on how to make more money. Be sure to utilize your local library. Libraries are awesome and have a ton of free things like internet and other resources. It's a great place to cool down when it's hot outside. Sometimes libraries give out free passes to museums and events, so be sure to check out your library. You can think of fun things to do for free, like going on a hike, having a picnic in the park with friends or your partner. Or for me, I play the violin, so I found a free community orchestra to play in, so it's a fun activity that doesn't break the bank. When it comes to gift giving, get creative. I have a re-gift bin under my bed, but also you can make something. Get creative with the things that you might already have laying around the house, rather than running to the store to buy something. You can still go out and have fun with friends, even in a recession. We know the recession music is top tier. Just do it responsibly. When I go out, typically I'll just get a water. I'll go to places that don't charge a cover. Like here, when I went out with friends, I got a side of pasta. It was the cheapest thing on the menu, and it actually was a big portion. I think it ended up costing like literally $7. You can consider putting your emergency fund in a high yield savings account, so your money grows money with interest. We're gonna be okay, guys. We're all in this together. Thanks for watching.
You were never supposed to have a lawn in front of your house. Did you know that? Well, here's why they made you. Think about it. Before lawns, most front yards grew food, fruit trees, vegetables, herbs. But in the late 1800s, elites in Europe, wealthy elites in Europe, I'll say, made grass lawns a status symbol. It meant you had so much money, you didn't need your land to feed you. Now that's a flex, okay? So America copied this trend. Cities encouraged it. Developers, they built it into our neighborhood designs. And eventually, HOAs, local lawns started banning front yards altogether. So now lawns look clean, but they replaced something essential, right? Our daily connection to food. They made us more dependent on grocery stores, supply chains, and the very systems that profit from our hunger. Now, a nice patch of grass, it looks nice, right? It looks nice. But a patch of food keeps you alive. One builds status, the other builds freedom. And if lawns had never been pushed on us, our neighborhoods would be filled with edible gardens, fruit, nuts, seeds, native wildflowers, small community orchards. Every block would feed its people. What hunger? Every yard would be a little ecosystem, nourishing, abundant, and free. But instead we have this. So if you're ready to live, to build a new conscious world, follow 4 steps to reclaim the food and the freedom you lost.
A few things I'd have in my house in the event of a grid down situation, like a war, an EMP attack, or anything like that, in no particular order. I'd have rice and beans, dried goods, canned food. I'd have bottled water stocked up, water purification tablets, or a life straw. I'd have that. I'd have a bug out bag, and it'll be packed up and ready to go. I'd have a first aid kit. That's a waterproof first aid kit. This is a regular first aid kit. I'd have a first aid kit. I can't post this on TikTok, but potassium iodide pills. I'll have potassium iodide pills in case we were hit with a nuclear. You could just look it up, potassium iodide pills. I'd have a hand crank radio. I would have this right now, a hand crank radio. I have an emergency stove and the utensils, so like the cooking utensils. I'd have my pew pew and lots of ammo. I'd have my pew pew and lots of ammo. I'd have my gas mask and the respirator. I'd have this together. I'd have matches or lighter, waterproof matches. I'll have some way to start a fire.
Am I getting this right? You're prepping for doomsday, but you can't even survive a week without DoorDash? Some people call it prepping. I call it shopping. No skills, no practice, no important gear that you need. Go ahead. Spend another $500 on prepping gear. But do you know how to cook off-grid? Do you know how to start a fire? Do you know how to grow your own food? Do you have a personal protection device?
I didn't mean to interrupt. Yes, I did. She is telling the truth. Guys, if you buy, I want to stop this video because I don't want to lose my train of thought later on. If you buy prepping equipment, go and test it. It's very important. You don't want to learn how to use your stove when the whole house is hungry and you starving and they're like, you still ain't got that stove cooked, you don't know how to use it. You get prepping equipment that you plan on using, you have to open it up and practice. Today we're gonna pretend there's no lights, there's no water, and I'm finna figure out how to cook this fish. And I bought this little outside stove. Let's take it outside and do it. This wood don't work, it won't even stay lit. Wow, this is a crappy stove, it doesn't even cook good. You have to learn that. If you don't practice with your stuff, you ain't got time for no surprises. Man, I bought these lights and the package say they last 40 hours and the battery already dead after 5. You ain't got time for that in no emergency. So when you get your stuff, use it first. Practice with it. You got to give it a test. And if it passed the it work test, oh, this thing cooks great. I was able to make a thing of chili this weekend, blah, blah, blah. Put it in the check mark. If you bought that lighter or that Kindle kit or whatever, and it don't light good, it took forever, it's probably one out there better than that. You got to get that one. So yes, it's trial and error. And don't be buying stuff and say, whoop, I bought these lights, put it away. Like what? You didn't test them and see that they really last 60 hours? Did you test them and see that the sun really charged that thing back up for real? Gotta be on your stuff, man. And she ain't lying. That was shout out, Miss Lady. Thank you. That was a very important tip. Make sure you using your stuff, because I don't know how many people doing that. You know what I'm saying? It might be somebody in the bunch that bought they prepping equipment and didn't try it out. Just put it away. You got a crank radio. You didn't use it? You got to use it and see, do it really last for real? I bought like 5 crank radios. All the handles fell off. They ain't worth nothing now. I ain't even had a disaster. They ain't even worth nothing now. Every handle broke. So I said, them ain't what I need. Hurricane season, recession, doomsday, all that. Make sure you got it right.
You know how to use it. You know how to preserve food. The list goes on. If you're looking for easy, practical tips, like always, make sure you like, share, and follow for great prepping advice.
How much water have you stocked up? Do you have some beans set aside that if there's no food nowhere, is there some sterno heat around that you can make heat? That's what time it is. Come on. You ain't even thinking like that. I know. You think you'll always have a Wendy's to go to. You think there'll always be a Big Mac somewhere. No, brother and sister, all of that's going down the tube in a few days. These are days of tribulation coming up. And we're going to have to gird up our loins to get through it. And we're going to have to be family.
To the broke doomsday preppers, we are building a community. If you can cook, if you can clean, if you have psychedelics, if you can sharpshoot, if you are a chemist, if you know medicine, if you have access to antibiotic, if you have a bunker, let's come together and make it happen.
I'm going to say something to y'all that might scare you, but it needs to be said. No one believed Noah until the rain came. No one believed Noah until the rain came. No one believed Noah until the rain came. Do whatever you want with that information. But I said what I said.
So if you're one of those people that eat out every day, it is time to start packing your own lunch and stop eating out. We got to start saving some coins, guys. Times are getting ready to get rough. So even Aaron Parnas was talking about the ships coming into the ports in California and how there's less cargo, and for us to be expecting a shortage and price increases. So hopefully you guys are getting prepared. And if you're not getting prepared, that you're already prepared. So again, you need to be stocking up on the staple items, flour, sugar, grab you some beans, some rice. Those are definitely great items to have. And you can store those items for a really long time. Canned goods, canned vegetables, even frozen vegetables if you can. But again, stock up on what you can, okay? I know we're not supposed to be panic shopping, but get whatever it is that you can get at this point, right? If you can only afford a can or two, get you a can or two, but just try to be as prepared as possible. And I mentioned in some of my other videos, remember, the Dollar Tree is a great place to get some very inexpensive items. They have canned goods too. They have a lot of oils, cooking oils, flours, sugar, seasonings. They have a lot of that stuff too, okay? So you don't have to actually go out and pay an arm and leg for a lot of these items. Again, check out your local Dollar Tree. And also, check out the dollar stores and see what they have as well. So remember, we are getting ready to start feeling the effects of these tariffs. So get prepared, guys.
We are so soft. We have lived lives where we've had grocery stores, gas stations, banking, jobs, electricity, running water, toilets, everything that modern man has brought forth. We don't know how bad it can be when all of a sudden the grid goes down. No running water, no heat, no air conditioning, no markets open, no banking open, and no social media. What would you do? Would you run out the door screaming? Would you go into a corner and cry? Well, guys, I don't want to be an alarmist, but the chances of something like that happening in the next, say, 18 months is running about an 85 to 90% chance. This is why I have this channel, so that I can teach you self-reliance and prepping, so that you are not the multitude of people that don't have a pot to piss in. If you're on a low budget, I understand. Go get some baby wipes. Go get some containers to put bath water in. Fill up used water bottles. That's really inexpensive, if next to nothing. Go to the dollar store and see what you can get to supply yourself with candles and Crisco. Get tea lights. You can get 100 of those for a couple bucks. And for food, every week you go grocery shopping, get what you can. Especially the stuff that will stay on the shelf for years, because you never know when you're going to need it, and you want it not to be in the refrigerator, freezer. Janet and I have a rule. What can we do to process food so it doesn't have to go into the refrigerator? I started canning by wanting to make sauerkraut. Well, sauerkraut has to go into the refrigerator, so I nixed that right in the bud. But it got me into canning, and I'm a prolific and proficient canner. If you wanted to get into canner but you don't have a lot of money, well, look on Facebook Marketplace for inexpensive water bath canning supplies. I'd start there. You can use that for things like any fruit. actually. For veggies, you have to have either water bath canning for hours and hours and hours. And if you have a glass top range, don't do that. It'll ruin it. I ruined ours. We can still use it, but it's forever scarred. And I bought a camp stove to use outside that uses propane for that. But I have 4 pressure canners, electric pressure canners that I use. And they're going quite often. And we're coming up to the canning season, and I'll be using those again. So there is always something that you can do for insurance to have the supplies you need later on. Get a sewing kit. Get Band-Aids. So, and yes, pray. Pray. Certainly pray.
All right, guys, you heard it. That's it for this video. And I hope it'll help you and wake some people up. And if you already woke, we already know what time it is. So it's good to listen to these tips. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and join the family. And we talk about real life events, the economy over here, and making sure you're aware what's going on. I'm Tiffany Rose. To the next video, and thank you guys for watching. I'm out.